I never thought the two people I trusted the most would betray me. It started with something so innocent. My best friend calling me in the middle of the night, heartbroken. I didn't hesitate. I opened my home, held her as she cried, and stayed up with her so she wouldn't feel alone. She was my best friend. I loved her like a sister. And I thought my husband, the man I had been with for 7 years and had just married, saw her the same way. The next morning he called into work so he could be there for her. Something in my gut twisted, but I pushed it down. I wanted to believe he was just being kind, that I had nothing to worry about. But then day after day while I was at work they were together, going to the gym, running errands, even checking out love poems from the library. And every time I asked to join I was met with an excuse. The gym is closing soon. This is the only time she has for errands. Excuses that made no sense. And then when he came home the fighting started. Fights about old arguments I thought we had resolved long ago. Fights that came out of nowhere, filled with anger I didn't understand. I kept asking him, where is this coming from? But he never gave me a real answer. I felt something slipping away, something fragile breaking beneath the surface. My husband, the person I had trusted with my heart, was pulling away from me. And my best friend, the person I thought would always have my back, was taking my place. I just didn't know how bad it really was. Not yet. I knew something was wrong, but I kept trying to convince myself it wasn't. I told myself I was overthinking, that I was being paranoid. But deep down I felt it, this growing distance, this invisible wall building between me and my husband. And my best friend was standing on the other side with him. Every night when he came home we fought. But these weren't normal arguments. They were cruel, filled with resentment I didn't understand. He brought up old wounds, things we had talked through long ago, twisting them into new reasons to be angry with me. I kept asking him, why now? Where is this coming from? But all I got were vague answers, half-truths, and denial. And then one night I couldn't take it anymore. My hands were shaking as I picked up his phone, my heart pounding in my chest. I told myself I wouldn't find anything. I prayed I wouldn't. But I did. Message after message, my husband pouring his heart out to her, telling her how much he valued their friendship, while calling me names, belittling me, tearing me down. And my best friend, the person I had trusted for years, the person I had cried with and laughed with, didn't defend me. She agreed with him. She fed into it. And the worst part? She had lied to me. She had told me we would have a girls' night, just the two of us, but in reality she had planned a secret intervention with my husband about my marriage. While I had been waiting for her call, thinking she had to work, she had been sitting with my husband, discussing me, picking apart my relationship behind my back. I felt sick. My best friend, my husband, the two people I thought would protect me, had been conspiring in secret, deciding what was wrong with me without even giving me a chance to speak. I had never felt so alone. I thought setting boundaries would make things better. I thought if I just told them to stop, if I made it clear how much they had hurt me, they would understand. That they would care. But they didn't. When I told them they couldn't talk or see each other until I felt comfortable again, I expected guilt, maybe even remorse. Instead I got pushback. Excuses. Defensiveness. My best friend, someone who used to swear she would always be there for me, called me vengeful, like I was punishing her instead of protecting myself. My husband, the man who promised to love me, called me a psychopath for wanting distance. That was when I realized just how little they had respected me all along. So I ended it. I cut my best friend out of my life completely. I told my husband he needed to do the same. He agreed, but then he cried. Begged me to let him say goodbye, to let him give her some kind of final letter. And for some reason, despite everything, I let him. I drove him to her house and watched as he handed her his goodbye. That moment broke me in a way I still don't fully understand. I had lost my best friend, and my husband was mourning her like he was the one who had lost something precious. As if I wasn't sitting right there, grieving too, grieving him, grieving the trust one thought we had, grieving the love I thought was unbreakable. A year has passed and they are no longer in contact. But that doesn't erase the damage. That doesn't take away the memory of my husband crying for another woman while I sat next to him, feeling like a stranger in my own marriage. A year has passed, but the pain hasn't. If anything, it lingers, settling deep inside me, refusing to fade. My husband and I are still together, but we are not the same. I'm not the same. The trust we once had feels like a distant memory, something I can barely grasp anymore. I try, I really do, but no matter how much I tell myself that it's over, that she's gone from our lives, the betrayal still echoes in my mind. Some nights, I lie awake, staring at the ceiling, remembering the way he fought for her, how he cried over losing her when I was right there, breaking apart. I cry more than I should. I feel guilty about it, but I can't stop. There are days when I look at him and all I see are the lies, the secrets, the messages where he tore me down to someone who was supposed to be my best friend. I remember every excuse, every moment he chose her over me. And I wonder, does he regret it? Does he really understand what he did to me? I asked him to go to therapy to work on this with me. But he won't. And that just makes me feel even more alone. Like I'm the only one trying to put this marriage back together, while he pretends that time is enough to fix what he broke. And then there's her. The friend I lost. The friend I thought would always be in my life. Some days I miss her. And I hate myself for it. How do you grieve someone who hurt you so deeply? How do you miss someone who betrayed you? I don't know how to move forward. I love my husband, but love isn't enough when trust has been shattered. I don't want my marriage to fall apart because of his mistake. But I'm so tired of carrying all this pain alone.